Hi all, this is Jeanette Keynes from Jewelry Arts Inc. In this video, I'm going to show you how to unset a cabochon gemstone from a bezel. Now, this can happen from time to time for a variety of reasons, and I'm going to show you how to use my unsetting tool from my master setting tool set to make no problem out of unsetting. So you see our lovely stone. You said this is an opal?
Yes.
It doesn't look like an opal.
It doesn't anymore.
So we have an opal that has gone through a journey that Asia would like to remove. So removing stones using an unsetting tool is something you don't do all the time. I'm going to inflict this on you guys because I've inflicted it on everyone else. When I was an apprentice, we didn't have a laser solderer. So when something went wrong, we had to unset and fix our piece and set again. And we liked it because it was all we had. So that's why I'm so good at unsetting, because I used to all the time break off my bail or my post or my jump ring or whatever and unset the stone. So in this case, we're unsetting the stone because we have hopes of using the setting again. And that's really the main reason that you would unset. And people will also, let me just give you a tiny bit of, this doesn't need any soldering or anything. It really just, the stone is not so hot. So that's why we're replacing it. But be very cautious about using all the like homemade remedies for keeping your stone cool when you're going to solder, like with the potato and the wet paper towel. It can work, but it can also go terribly wrong. So take that with a little bit of caution. So, but that's not what we're doing. We're unsetting. So of course I have the unsetting tool from the master setting tool set, which really all it is a very highly polished little wedge. That's all it is. You know, if you can, I don't know if you can see. We used to just make these back in the day. We would take a scriber, we would file a little, we would sand a little, we would polish a little, and that's it. And then you're going to look at your bezel, and basically you have to choose what's your best spot. Now, even though Asia has, of course, done a lovely job, you look at it very carefully. There's usually one spot that's maybe not as tight as everybody else. It all looks the same. Fine, then just pick a spot. But let me give you unsetting theory. What you want to do, we're going to use this little wedge to open up a little space between the stone and the bezel. What you don't want to do then is take it out and do that again and again and open up multiple places, because everywhere you open up, that's where you get a lot of damage. And what you're hoping to do with this is damage the bezel like as minimally as possible so that you can just sand it a little bit, you know what I mean, and have room to set. If you get too violent with your unsetting, like the stone will come out, but then your bezel may not be usable, okay? So I'm gonna look at this. Think deep thoughts. I think right over in here, I think is going to be the best spot. But honestly, Asia did a really nice job of setting, so it's touching really pretty well. Damn you, Asia. So the hollowed out, like the curved out part there, that's against the stone so that the stone doesn't break. I think I'm going to stand up actually because I am short. Now, on the bright side, we are not trying to save the stone, so I'm not going to worry too much, but obviously under normal circumstances, you're trying not to break your stone. So you see what I'm doing with just the tip? You see that little opening I have there right now? That's all we need. Now that we have that opening, I'm going to scooch to the side and work my way around. And when it's open enough, like it'll get loose, we'll get a piece of wax, we'll pull the stone out. That's where you get the most damage, is that initial opening. So you only want one. Because once I have that opening, right, I can kind of scooch to the side a little bit and open it, and scooch to the side a little bit and open it. You see what I mean? And we're going to work our way around. And also, Asia kind of really set this a little bit low in the bezel, which is great because it gives you that beautiful metal edge. But for unsetting, that gives you a little more work to do. But, you know, that's fine. So you see what I mean? How I'm just going along the side and kind of opening that up. And that's why I usually stand, because just like when you're setting, unsetting, all the force is coming from your shoulder. I'm kind of put the tool in position and kind of lean in a little bit. And another thing I will point out, you can't put your tool in there and like everything will be dead. Your setting, your stone, whatever. So you notice really all I'm doing is pressing that in there a little bit, and that just creates a little bit of space in between your stone and your bezel. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to let Asia work on this a little bit so that she can enjoy this very beautiful process. It's bringing me back to my apprentice years. You see what I mean? How it just opens up like that? I'm going to let her work on it a little bit, and we'll get a piece of wax, and then we'll come back and check on it. Okay? One of the many examples that fucking things up in every possible way teaches you so many valuable skills. If you take a look how we've just scooched it along to the side, and the stone is kind of wiggling now, so I'm pretty sure I can use my mammoth piece of wax and pull it out of there. So let's try it. Ta-da! And if you take a look at the bezel really hasn't been damaged very much at all. So all it'll need is like a little green paper on the top just to level it back out, and you're back in business. Okay? And here's the thing, nobody wants to fucking unset a stone. Everyone is always like, no, which I understand, but it will happen sooner or later, and that's why I put the tool in the kit, so that when that dark day comes, you know you have the right tool to take care of it. So you see that, how the edge is very slightly bent, but not very much. That's definitely very little damage. We can sand that and clean it up very easily, making our setting still usable. Yay!